Roughly 4 out of 10 homeowners insurance claims are ending with zero payout right now. And in 2026, roof claims are getting hit the hardest. Your neighbor with the obvious hail damage walked away with nothing. The guy down the street whose shingles got ripped off in a windstorm? Denied flat out. And here's the part that should make you furious. Most of those denials are completely beatable. You just need to know what to say. Look, insurance companies are betting that you'll give up. They count on you reading that denial letter, sighing, and just paying out of pocket. But there's a specific, step-by-step script that's been working for homeowners all over the country in 2026, and I'm going to hand it to you in this video. No fluff, no call a lawyer cop-out, real words you can copy. Quick but important, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not your public adjuster. This video is education, not legal advice. Insurance laws vary wildly by state, and your policy is its own little universe. Use this as a starting point, then verify with a licensed professional in your state before you sign anything or sue anybody. Here's what you're walking away with in the next 10 minutes. First, the real reason denial rates exploded in 2026, it's not what most people think. Second, the 5 sneaky tactics adjusters are using right now to deny legitimate claims. Third, and this is the gold, the exact word-for-word script to push back and flip a denial into a payout. Then we'll cover what to do before you ever file a claim so you're not walking into a trap. And finally, the brand new 2026 rule changes you absolutely need to know about. Grab a pen, seriously. So here's what actually happened. Between 2020 and 2024, insurers got absolutely hammered. Hurricanes in Florida, wildfires in California, derechos in the Midwest, hail the size of softballs in Texas. The industry paid out more than it had in any 5-year stretch in history. Their response? Quietly rewrite your policy. If you haven't read your renewal documents in the last 2 years, and let's be honest, almost nobody does, your policy probably looks nothing like it used to. 3 big changes rolled in. 1. ACV instead of RCV on older roofs. That's actual cash value instead of replacement cost value. Translation: insurance won't pay to replace your roof anymore. They'll only pay what your beat up, depreciated 14-year-old roof is technically worth. On a $20,000 roof, that can mean a check for $4,000, maybe less. 2. Cosmetic damage exclusions. Hail dented your metal roof but didn't cause a leak? Tough luck. New language in most 2026 policies says cosmetic damage isn't covered, even though those dents shorten your roof's lifespan dramatically. 3. Roof age caps. A bunch of carriers now refuse to cover roofs over 15 years old, or they slap a separate deductible on them. Some quietly non-renew you the second your roof hits the cutoff. Here's the thing most people miss. None of this is technically illegal. It's all buried on page 47 of a 60-page policy nobody reads. But that doesn't mean you have to accept it. All right, buckle up. These are the 5 tactics adjusters are leaning on hardest in 2026. And if you've already got a denial letter on your kitchen counter, I'd bet money one of these is the reason printed on it. Tactic 1. Wear and tear, not storm damage. This is the #1 denial reason right now. The adjuster shows up, takes 10 photos, and writes consistent with normal aging. Sounds technical, it's often nonsense, especially when there's a documented hailstorm in your zip code on the date you filed. Tactic 2. Pre-existing damage. They claim the damage was there before your policy started, or before the storm hit. Almost impossible for them to prove, almost too easy for them to write down. Tactic 3. Insufficient documentation. Translation: you didn't send them a 40-page packet of photos, repair estimates, and weather reports. Most people send 3 blurry phone pics and call it a day. That's exactly what they want. Tactic 4. Lowballing with a partial approval. They approve $1,800 for patch repairs when you need a $22,000 full replacement. Then they bet you'll just take the check because fighting feels exhausting. Tactic 5. The preferred contractor trap. They send their own contractor, who magically agrees with the adjuster on every single point. Of course they do. They get repeat business from the insurer, not from you. The kicker? Adjusters are often paid bonuses tied to loss ratios. The fewer dollars they pay out, the better their numbers look. You're not paranoid. The system is literally designed to underpay you. Okay, this is the part you came for. Pen ready? Step 1. Request the full claim file in writing. Most states require insurers to hand it over. Send this exact email and use the subject line, "Formal request for claim file," followed by your policy number. The email reads, "Pursuant to my rights as a policyholder, I am formally requesting the complete claim file related to my recent claim, including all adjuster notes, photographs, engineering or inspection reports, weather data referenced, internal communications related to the denial, and the specific policy provisions relied upon. Please provide this within the time frame required by my state's law." That one email changes everything. Suddenly the adjuster knows you're not just going to roll over. Step 2. Demand a reinspection with your own contractor present. Use this language. "I am formally disputing the denial dated, whatever the date is. I am requesting a reinspection of the property with my independent contractor present to document discrepancies in the original report. Please confirm 3 available dates within the next 14 business days." Step 3. The magic phrase. When you get back on the phone, say this calmly, clearly, and record it if your state allows one-party consent. "I'd like to know specifically which provision of my policy excludes this damage, and I'd like that citation in writing. I'm also requesting that this call be documented in my claim file." Insurance companies hope you never learn that phrase. Asking for a specific policy citation forces them to commit to a reason on paper. Vague denials suddenly evaporate because the adjuster knows the words wear and tear don't actually appear as an exclusion in most policies. Step 4. File a complaint with your state's Department of Insurance. Free, online, takes about 10 minutes. The second a DOI complaint hits your file, your claim gets reassigned to a senior adjuster, and those folks settle fast because complaint metrics roll up to executives. Step 5. If you're still getting nowhere, hire a licensed public adjuster. Not the insurance company's adjuster, yours. They typically take 10 to 15% of the recovery, and they routinely flip denials into 5-figure checks. The math almost always works in your favor on a real roof claim. One more thing, never ever sign a release or final settlement document until you've had every dollar reviewed by someone on your side. Once you sign, you're done, forever. Quick pivot, because the best way to win a fight is to be ready before it starts. The day a storm hits, before you call anybody, do this. Walk your property. Take video, not photos, video of every side of your house, your roof from the ground, your gutters, your fence, your AC unit, anything outside. Narrate the date out loud as you film. Then pull the weather report for your address. NOAA's Storm Events database is free. Print it or save the PDF. Then, and this is the one people skip, call a reputable local roofing contractor for a free inspection before you call your insurance company. Get their written report in your hands first. That way, when the insurance adjuster shows up and says, "Looks like wear and tear to me," you've already got a licensed contractor's report that says, "Fresh hail strikes consistent with the May 8th storm." Adjusters fold fast when you have documentation they didn't create. And honestly, if you're a gig worker, freelancer, or run your own small business, this matters double. You don't have an employer's HR department or a corporate legal team backing you up. Nobody's coming to save you on a $25,000 roof. You are your own advocate. Act like it. Here's where it gets interesting. A handful of 2026 rule changes actually tilt the field back in your favor, but only if you know they exist. Most homeowners have no idea. You're about to. First, a growing number of states are tightening bad faith rules. Florida, Texas, Louisiana, and a few others have introduced or expanded statutes that let homeowners collect penalties, interest, and sometimes attorney fees when an insurer denies a valid claim without a reasonable basis. Translation? In some states, fighting a bogus denial can actually pay better than the original claim. Verify the rule in your state, but don't sleep on it. Second, AI-driven claim denials are under regulatory fire. Several state DOIs are now investigating insurers that lean on automated systems to deny claims without proper human review. If your denial letter feels weirdly generic, like a robot wrote it, say so when you complain. That's now a real lever. Third, drone inspections cut both ways. Insurers are using drones to deny claims faster, but you can use them too. Independent inspection services using drones cost a few $100 and produce evidence that's hard to argue with. Fourth, heads up, some carriers are quietly imposing separate wind and hail deductibles in 2026 that can be 1 to 5% of your home's insured value. On a $400,000 home, that's a $20,000 deductible before a single dollar of coverage kicks in. Read your renewal. I cannot stress this enough. Read your renewal. Here's where you take action. If your claim's already been denied, Start with step 1 from the script today, not next week. Insurance companies count on you waiting until the appeal deadline closes. Most policies give you only 1 to 2 years to dispute a denial, and some are shrinking that window in 2026. If this saved you from getting steamrolled, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep digging into the stuff insurance companies wish you'd never find out. Drop a comment with your state and what reason your denial used. I read them, and we use the patterns to plan the next videos. Speaking of, next up, we're breaking down the 3 sentences in your homeowner's policy that auto-disqualify most water damage claims, and the 1 rewrite that can put you back in coverage. You don't want to miss that one. Stay sharp out there. They're not on your side, but now you don't need them to be.